Well, we just saw in that video the power of just sitting down and having conversations. In fact, there were even some more videos. We didn't have time to include them all in the clip, but it's so powerful sometimes to just sit down. But I think sometimes we don't sit down with people who are different ages than us because we don't always understand different generations. Like some of you all are like, I don't know what TikTok is other than the sound that the clock makes, okay? Like that's all you know about TikTok. But like we don't get it, so it's uncomfortable and it's awkward and we don't know how to get into it. Like just a couple of weeks ago, my 12-year-old son Josiah, he was telling us the story that every day Harold or I, we go and we pick him up. He's in middle school. We pick him up in the parent pickup line, and he saw our van, and so he went all over and he got in the car and he was situating his backpack and getting everything sorted, and he closes the door, and he said this thought popped into his mind that this seat seems really, really comfortable, like more than usual. And in that moment, just took a few seconds, but he looked over, and the woman next to him was not his mother. He was in the wrong car. He said this, he said, I didn't even say anything to her, I just said, oh shoot, wrong car. She starts laughing hysterically, and he gets out without saying a word to her, shuts the door behind him like it never happened. Like true, sometimes we get in those awkward situations and we don't know what to say, we don't know what to do, it's uncomfortable, and we just kind of walk away and we don't say anything. But I believe if we could embrace, if we could lean in a little bit to that space that feels a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit awkward, that we could actually become stronger and better no matter the generation that we find ourselves in. That we can stop avoiding those situations and actually lean in. Sometimes though we think, and I have a little illustration here, we think that we know what people are like. Now I'm going to let you guess which generation is represented by which box, okay? But I will say that the slogan for Tricks is for kids. Very good. You know your cereal slogans. There's not a slogan for Brand Flakes other than I'm going to be regular. All right, that's the only slogan we got there. And sometimes we think, we look at young people maybe and we think, yeah, they're fun, they're great. There's not a whole lot of substance. And we look over here at the Brand Flakes and we think, okay, substance, I don't know if I really want that boring, straightforward life. And we look at people and we just assume things. We start to label them. But what if I told you that inside sometimes might just surprise you? I know, right? That there's actually some substance to some young people. And watch this. I think you know where I'm going now, right? Sometimes people who are a little bit older, like me, can even be fun. Hey, we got some game left. We aren't dead yet. All right. But sometimes we judge a book by its cover, a box of cereal by its container, right? A person by their age. And today I want to look at the Bible, 1 Samuel chapter 16. We're going to look at verse 6 here in a moment. But before we do, just kind of setting it up. By the way, if you don't have a Bible, we have some for you out at the Welcome Center. Those are for you to take and keep. We want you to have that as our gift to you. 1 Samuel chapter 16, it's in what we call the Old Testament. There's the Old and the New Testament. The New Testament is where Jesus physically comes in on the scene. The Old Testament is before that, leading up to that moment. But it's in 1 Samuel 16 that we are introduced to a man named Samuel. He's a prophet. A prophet is a person that is basically a mouthpiece of God. God speaks to Samuel, and then Samuel would speak to the people on behalf of God. And in this time, in his era, while he was going there, Samuel was speaking and looking for another king. Because their current king in Israel was named Saul. And Saul he looked the part of the king. He was tall, he was handsome, he had all the accolades, he was strong. He looked like a king. But God saw his heart, and his heart was wrong. It wasn't right, and so God started to look for another king whose heart would be right with God. And this is what happens here in this portion of the Bible, that Samuel's out. He's basically working on behalf of God. He's looking for the next king. And he comes to a man's house whose name is Jesse. And Jesse has some kids. And that's what we're going to read about. It says in verse 6, when they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, surely the Lord's anointed stands here before the Lord. He thought, this must be the next king. He looks the part. Just like Saul looked the part, Eliab looks the part. Verse 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at, for people look at the outward appearance. People look at the generations, the age gaps, the differences. But watch what God looks at. The Lord looks at the heart. And then this verse, or this chapter continues. Samuel basically, he goes on and he has 7 sons who pass. Jesse has 7 sons who pass before Samuel, and none of them are the one that is chosen to be king. And so Samuel asks another question. Hey, do you have any other sons? And Jesse's like, oh yeah, I got one more. He's out taking care of the sheep. His name is David. Verse 12. So he sent for him, and he had David brought in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and handsome features. Then the Lord said, rise and anoint him. This is the one. The title of my message this morning is Looks and Labels. Looks and labels. Would you pray with me? Father, I pray today that you would help us to see those areas of our life where maybe we are labeling people, where we are dividing, we are separating. God, and you would help us to overcome those labels, to peel them back so that we can find unity together. Lord, I pray for every person, no matter the age in this room, that we would see the value of other people in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. I don't know if you like to label things. Any labelers in the house? My wife loves a good label maker. Like, she is the Marie Kondo 8 months ago, like with all the craze. You're just purging your entire house and labeling everything. Literally, I'm not joking. Like our closet where our towels are, there are labels on the shelves. I'll be honest with you, it's because I never put anything where it belongs. Okay, so that's why. Like, so there's another downstairs, like where our extra kitchen utensils and different things are, like the mixer. Like there's labels on the shelf because again, I don't put things where they belong. All right. And so Carol loves a good container, a good storage place, separating things, getting things organized. I'll be honest with you, it really does help because I wouldn't remember. So I like that. But the problem with labels is not when we're labeling things and stuff. The problem with labels is when we begin to put them on other people.
Right.
Because people aren't commodities. They're not stuff. They're not things. They are just that. They are people. I have a couple of volunteers I'm going to ask you to come up here, Ivan and Pastor James, wherever you are. If you guys would come on up here on the stage. Give it up for these guys. So, it's easy to look at appearance. Okay, you're going to stand over here, James. You're going to stand right here, all right? Looking good, all right? He's got the trick. So, this is, I didn't work out today. Normally my muscles, though, they look like this. Okay. Just saying. So, on their shirts, you see they just have the word love. Because the truth is, God says you are loved. Look at the person next to you and say, you are loved. You are loved. Listen, you got kids here today. Let them know that God loves them and that you love them. But we, on the other hand, sometimes we label people. And so I have some labels. I actually went online a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I asked for common stereotypes of different ages. Now, Ivan and I are going to represent a little bit older generation, okay? Okay, all right? And this young man over here, he's going to represent all you youngins, okay? You just Gen Z problem causers over there, okay? All right. So I'm going to have some labels. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to stick this on your shirt, and I'm just going to ask you to, as you do it, you're just going to begin to cover up this word, okay? So the first stereotype or label that younger people said about older people is, y'all are stubborn. We're stubborn, all right? Okay, so we're going to put that right on there. But young people, you don't get away from the labels either. Young people, y'all are just lazy. Nothing. Lazy, all right? You got to peel it. I know. I didn't tell them there would be work attached to this, all right? And then, for those of you who are a little bit older, they said that you all also are slow learners. We're slow learners. Okay, listen. It might be true for me. Okay, all right. We're slow learners, okay? But for the younger generation, you're not slow learners, but you're self-centered. Okay, self-centered. All right. Oh, that's a hard one. I know. Okay, and we're not saying these are true. We're just saying this is what people said. Okay. All right. For those who are a little bit older, they said we're less productive. I don't know if you can't teach a little dog new tricks or something, but we're less productive apparently as we get older. Like we slow down or something. But young people, they said, no loyalty. They just don't make them the way they used to. Oh, come on. Oh, it's so true. Oh. All right. The last one for those of us who are a little bit older, they said we're intolerant. We're intolerant. We don't listen to other viewpoints, other vantage points. And then for young people, they said they lack honor. They don't know how to honor. This generation doesn't know how to honor people the way that they should. And what I want you to see is Ivan, would you take just a couple steps that way? James, would you take a couple steps that way? When we label each other, we begin to distance ourselves from one another. What ends up happening is we cover up the person that God has made us with all of our labels. We begin to diminish the value and the worth of a human being that God loves. And we begin to divide ourselves, and it becomes us versus them. This is not the picture of the church that God speaks of in the Bible. And this is why this message is so incredibly important. This is a message that's not just to one group of people. This is for every single one of us in this room today.
Amen.
It applies to all of us. That we need each other. So how do we begin to rip off the labels? They're going to just stand up here and look good for a little while with me. There's 4 things that I want to outline just here, taking the next 10 or 12 minutes to talk about ways that we can remove labels. Number 1, believe in people more than you believe things about people.
It's good.
Believe in people more than you believe things about people. Sometimes the best thing you could do is turn off the news.
Right.
Because it's meant to divide you, to say it's us and them. And so we listen to that narrative and it replays in our mind and we start to say, oh, maybe that's true. But that's not what God says. So be careful the messages we let in. In fact, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7 says this, love bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things, endures all things. In fact, the Message version says that love always looks for the best. Have you stopped looking for the best in certain people? That's not an issue with them. That's an issue with us in our heart. Remember, who was God looking for? He was looking for a man who was after his heart. God told Samuel, this is the one. There was a belief that David, he was set apart. Even if other people didn't see it, Samuel was trusting God for it, and God saw his heart. See, when we believe in people, watch this, we begin to remove the labels. Just want that one right there. Begin to remove the labels, and we start to see people better and more the way that God sees them. Number 2, though, we need to move just beyond our belief, because belief can reside in our mind. But we have to let it breathe and take action. Number 2, speak words of life.
Amen.
Speak words of life. I know many times we think good things, but one of the best gifts that you can ever give to a person is to release that thought. You're thinking about somebody, text them.
Right.
Thinking about, give them a call.
Amen.
The next time you see them, let them know.
Amen.
You were praying for them, that you love them, you're thinking about them, that they're not alone.
Amen.
Sometimes we just need to know we're not alone, so speak words of life. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. That we literally, through our words, can build up and speak life to people, or we can tear down and tear apart people. God was speaking through the prophet Samuel, saying, David, you have a good heart, the right heart. And it's important that we speak to the things that really matter. There's an old phrase, it's in your notes there. It says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. See, do this with your spouse. Let them know that you love them. But also do this with your kids. Do this with people who don't just look like you. Maybe people that you don't always hang around. And can I just speak to the kids and teenagers? How many are under the age of 18 in the house right now? Raise your hand. Oh, look at all you guys. Come on now. Yeah. Love all these guys, okay? So I'm going to give you some advice right here. Let your parents know you love them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them even that you're praying for them. It's so powerful. And I know it's not cool to tell your mom or dad that you love them sometimes, but it's okay. It's a good thing. I can tell you one of the things that I love most is when my kids genuinely come up to me and say, Dad, I love you. There's something special about that. So release those thoughts. Speak words of life. But here's the thing. We don't want to just praise people for their performance when they do good. We want to praise people when they do the right thing.
Right.
Praise their behavior.
Right.
When they do the right thing when it would have been easier to do the wrong thing. And maybe they're getting criticism from other people, and they're feeling pressure from other people, but you're the voice of life and truth in their life that's encouraging them.
Right.
And listen, even when they fail, are you loving them? Are we loving them? I know this is something that I can work on as a father. It's so important. 1 Thessalonians 5:11, encourage one another and build each other up. I love that picture of building each other up. And when we're down, we encourage and we build each other. The word encourage means to put courage into somebody. We're depositing courage every time that we speak life into someone. So when we speak life, we remove another one of the labels. I have to go this side. Okay. It's got trickier than I thought it was going to be. But we remove one of the labels when we speak life, when we begin to see more of the picture that God actually has for us. But now we're going to get into the part where I think it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for people. And this is point number 3. Spend time with people who don't look like you. Spend time with people who don't look like you. Get in someone else's car, so to speak, okay? Make sure you have permission first, all right? Otherwise it'd be awkward. But get in the car sometime, right? Sit down on a couch and have a conversation. Psalm 71, verse 18. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, my God. Watch this. Until I declare your power to the next generation. Your mighty acts to all who are to come. Listen, if you're a bit older, you have a story to tell, a story of God's goodness and God's faithfulness in your life. Don't let it die with you. Let it live on in the life of other people.
Amen.
I absolutely, just if I can brag, there's lots of stories that I could brag on, but I want to just brag on a couple here. Craig and Dawn Laszlo.
Amen.
Did you know Craig and Dawn? See how many people know Craig and Dawn? Every Tuesday, they open up their house. They're a little bit older than me. And they open up their house to some people who are a little bit younger than me. 2 girls. Melissa, who serves on our dream team, does an amazing job behind the scenes. Just an incredible servant.
Amen.
Pastor Bria, who leads our welcome team.
Amen.
And they just open up their house. Their agenda isn't to just talk about Jesus. Their agenda is just to meet together and have fun and love each other. This is what it means. To get around people who aren't just our age, who don't look like us all the time. Because there's something powerful that can begin to happen in that space.
Amen.
Here was David, out in the field. Truthfully, honestly, like by his father forgotten. His brothers didn't speak up either. They were like, oh yeah, we got another brother, he's out there, you should probably bring him in too, just so you know. He was an afterthought, almost forgotten, but not by God. I believe that there are many in this generation, especially in the younger generation, that they feel forgotten. Probably also in the older generation. They feel forgotten. They feel like maybe their moments pass or nobody sees them. And we have the opportunity to bridge the gap. Right. To bridge the divide. To bring people closer together. For those who are younger though, can I speak to you for a moment? Find people who have lived where you want to go and get around them. Listen to them.
Amen.
Soak up their wisdom.
Right.
You don't know everything. I say this phrase all the time, but sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And one way to rectify that is getting around other people who have lived somewhere that we want to go.
Amen. Amen.
Or we can begin to discover some things in that relationship. Listen, if you're always the smartest person in the room, your room is not big enough.
Right.
If you're always the smartest person, then you haven't expanded your world to a big enough view. You need to grow, to expand the circle, because when we expand the circle, we rip off another label. We say this at Compel that we expand circles. It's so important that we expand those circles because we begin to see again, there's room. There's room for others who aren't like us.
Right.
The last thing that we can do, if there's one that I want to hit on, this is so important. Number 4, ask questions. Ask questions. It might not seem spiritual, but trust me, it is. If you're not asking questions, you are operating with limited information. You are missing things that you should be seeing. Listen, if you recorded yourself for an entire day, how many questions would be asked by you? How much time would be spent listening? And how much time would be spent talking and making statements? The answer to that question will tell us all we need to know about where we need to be. If we're asking questions, and we're listening to sound counsel and wisdom, we are going to be better for it. Questions are not a sign of weakness, church. They are a sign of care. That you care about somebody. You don't ask questions to people you don't care about. You just move past them. But when you stop and you actually ask a question, it's important. What did Samuel do? He finds all these sons. And he doesn't find the one, though, that God said he's the one you're supposed to anoint. And so he could have just moved on. Jesse said, these are all my sons. Like, he could have just moved on from there. But he chose not to. He chose to ask a question. And that question led him to discovering the next king of that nation. Do you have another son? See, genuinely ask questions where we are truly asking to listen and learn, make us better and more informed people. What might you be believing today that's incorrect just because you haven't asked enough questions? All of us have areas that we're blind to. Who could you talk to expand your knowledge and your understanding today? See, when we ask questions, we tear off the last label once you move a little bit closer. You too, you're going to move right toward the center here. We not only see who we are, that we are loved by God, but we close the gap between us that often exists. We begin to see who we really are. We are loved by God, and we see other people the way they are, that they are loved by God.
Amen.
And instead of being separated by our differences, we become united by what we have in common.
Right.
And Jesus is what we have in common. Would you give these guys a big hand? Thank you, guys. They stood up here so well. It's really admirable. Listen, our identity today, it's not in what we do. If you're a kid here today, I want you to know you're not valuable to God because of what you can do for God. If you're an adult here today, you're not valuable because of what you can do for God. You're valuable because you belong to God.
Amen.
You are His.
Right.
Imagine, church, if we actually came together like that song we sang said, that we were united, young and old, on the same page, not bickering with each other, but uniting together. Imagine how the world would look on that and say, boy, that seems really different. What's going on? What's the secret?
Right.
And then it's our opportunity to say, you know what? Our secret shouldn't be a secret. It's Jesus, and He's the one who brings us together.
Amen.
Imagine a church, young and old, praying for one another, believing in one another, trusting one another. We are loved by God. We must love people the way that He loves. In fact, the book of Galatians, as we prepare to close here, it says this in chapter 3, verse 28, challenging this thought of separating and dividing all of us and labeling each other. Paul says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
We together are one. So let's stop living separate lives. Let's come together knowing God, finding community, discovering our purpose together so that we can make a difference, united in purpose and cause. Instead of labeling each other with stereotypes, let's begin to see each other the way that God sees us, ripping off labels, a lot less complaining and a lot more praying for one another because now we see them the way that God sees them.
Amen.
You know why it's always easy to complain about other people? Because we don't see them the way that God sees them.
Right.
The moment you start seeing them the way that God sees them, that complaining, it's gonna start to turn. You're gonna start to pray for them and believe that God can touch their heart, change their life. See, instead of division, we find common ground and we're unified. Our differences no longer become obstacles, but yet they are opportunities for us to get better and learn from one another. We begin to learn how to appreciate one another. That's what this whole series is about. It's about appreciating the differences that we have. So today, would you do this with me? Would you rip off some of the labels that you put on people, maybe younger or older, maybe a different gender or a different race? Start to rip off those labels and remember that all of us are loved by God, that we are family, and that we are better together.